Well, till death do us part doesn't always work out, but what options do you have when it's time to call it quits? I'm here with Bud Klueck, attorney. He's going to talk about divorce. Bud is a board-certified specialist in family law. And Bud, welcome. And speaking about family law, before we get into the nitty-gritty here, obviously you're following the O.J. situation.
I am.
And what do you think about that?
Well, I did criminal law at one time. At one time I was a prosecutor, then about 5 years later I was a criminal defense lawyer. But O.J. actually intersects with family law in the guardianship area, Joe. It actually was a very famous appellate case, because prior to O.J., when the courts would set up a guardianship, they'd set up a guardianship obviously for a reason. And then when that reason went away, time passed and it no longer existed, you had to put the situation in what they call in Latin the status quo ante, what it was before. Now, the reason for the O.J. guardianship, if you remember, and the Browns were the guardians, the grandparents, the victim's parents. And then it went away. The reason for the guardianship went away. The reason for the guardianship, obviously, was because mom was deceased, and the dad was incarcerated. And so there was a reason why the guardianship went away, because dad was acquitted and released. And the old law would have put it the status quo ante, the situation before that, and O.J. would get the children back. But the law changed. And nowadays, and since that court case on, the judges have to look at the best interests of the children regardless of whether the purpose for the guardianship has gone away. So actually O.J. in that case was instrumental in changing an element of family law.
Yeah, now he did get the kids back, but that was because the Browns said okay.
Yeah, they they consented to that.
Yeah, they consented right then. Okay. So let's talk then about the options that you have. What is collaborative divorce? What, do they all sit around a campfire and sing separation songs? What do we do? It's collaborative.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. It came from Northern California, and they kind of all went into the redwood hot tub and kind of worked things out.
And worked it out,
yes,
in a real nice way.
That was the way it was.
Yeah.
No, collaborative divorce involves, and there are essentially four ways that people get divorced. One is litigation, mediation, collaborative law, or collaborative divorce is what we're going to be talking about today, and cooperative law. Or we have a poem. We have a little rhyme.
Can we hear it? Would you wax poetic for us, please?
Litigation, mediation, or collaborative law. Divorce is no longer one size fits all. And one of those options is obviously collaborative, and it's a team approach.
All right.
Both parties have their own collaborative lawyers, and those parties and the lawyers agree that if the process breaks down and one spouse says to the other, "I'll see you in court, buddy," they have to get other attorneys. The collaborative attorneys cannot accompany them to the courts. So it's a totally out-of-court system. They both have divorce coaches. Now, these people are mental health professionals. They may be therapists in another area of their practice or their lives, but this is not therapy. It's a lot more focused on getting you through this very difficult and challenging part of your life and addressing the psycho-emotional needs of what's going on there. Then they have a joint financial planner, because, for one thing, the financial pie has not gone any bigger, Joe.
Right.
And now it's taking care of two households instead of one.
Yeah, the money, the money.
And then secondly, you have to do some long-term planning very differently, because they were expecting to grow old together, so to speak, and retire together, and now they have to plan for their retirement separately. So there are short-term issues. They have to pay the mortgage this month.
Right.
There are medium-term issues. Who's going to move out of the house and how's that going to be handled? And then there are long-term issues. How is retirement going to occur now that they're not going to be living together? And that's what the financial planner does. And because
so you bring all these people together.
Yes, and one more, a very important one, which is there are kids involved, called a child specialist. And the child specialist helps the kids go through the psycho-emotional aspects of it and also bring their desire to the table, so to speak.
All right. How do we get a hold of you?
Well, there's many ways.
I know.
619-448-6500, area code 619-448-6500. We have a website, FamilyLawSanDiego.com,
right.
www.FamilyLawSanDiego.com, and then also they can go through the San Diego Living website and
of course. Thank you so much. So, okay, next time when you want to get to it, you can call Bud Klueck.
There you go.
I couldn't quite rhyme like you.
There you go.
We'll see you Friday.
You bet.
Again here with Dr. Kenner, okay?
I will indeed.